Welcome everybody, Saturday afternoon, check that Sunday afternoon here in Singapore OTBC Arena. Look at the crowds, and why not? We've got basketball on tap today. The San Miguel Alab Pilipinas going against the Singapore Slingers. Of course, we all know that the fans from the Philippines love their teams, they support their teams, and they are here en masse today. An important matchup because both these teams headed in the right direction. San Miguel, the Alab Pilipinas at 7-4, winners of their last 4 games, 4 of their last 5, actually 8 of their last 9. Going against the Singapore Slingers, who finally got their head above 500. They are at 7-6. Confirmation of the game today. 7-6 Singapore Slingers at home, going against the 7-4 Alab Pilipinas. Now, during the week, an important switch was made for their sponsorship. They will be known as the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas now. And we will transfer over to the standings right now. Hong Kong Eastern basketball team leading the pack 9-1, followed by Chung Sung Kung Basketball Club 7-2. They were defeated by San Miguel earlier on in the week. They are at 4th at 7-4, right above them Mono Vampires. Slingers at 7-6, Saigon Heat. Westport Malaysian Dragons 3-7. The Knights getting off the snide, winning their second game, and Formosa Dreamers leading up the end of the pack at 1-12. Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. Chuck Schreiner along with my buddy Marco Benitez and Coach Alab getting some final instructions to our veteran player Josh Erzbintano. And Marco, this Erzbintano and his team, they have been playing some great basketball lately.
Yes, Chuck, it's great to be here. And you talked about San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, led by Josh Erzbintano, among others, on a 4-game winning streak here. They're going to be playing a very motivated Singapore Slingers squad who has been a tough matchup for them. Actually, Singapore has won this series so far 2-1, so we expect another exciting matchup.
On the other side of the ball, the Singapore Slingers, they have to be happy as we look at Coach Alapag, looking very dapper today in a white shirt. When we were interviewing, he was in a t-shirt. There you go. So Coach Alapag has to be extremely happy with the contributions of not only his couple of guys that he expects to do the heavy lifting, Justin Brownlee and Ronaldo Bachman, but also guys like Lawrence and Domingo, who in my book is the most athletic player on either team. Bobby Ray Park coming off a tremendous game, 31 points in that last matchup against the Chinese team.
He really led San Miguel Alab Pilipinas together with Justin Brownlee and Ronaldo Bachman, played a crucial role, playing like the local MVP that he is, reigning local MVP, 31 points, big baskets, also matched up against the world import of the Chong Son Kung Fu, Anthony Tucker, so really played big for Coach Jimmy Alapag and the rest of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
On the other side of the ball, the Slingers have to be happy from their contributions, not only from the local, from the import guys, but also the contributions that they're getting from Delvin Go, enjoying a breakout year for him. 12 points and 8 rebounds in that desperate win against the Westport Malaysian Dragons, where the Slingers blew a 17-point lead and had a 4-point lead with 10 seconds to go, but we're done in almost by a couple of grievous mistakes. But Delvin Go and company stuck around, and they gutted it out for that exciting, heart-throbbing 1-point win. As we look at the pride of the Slingers, the Singapore Lion up and down the stadium. So the team introductions now for the Alab Pilipinas just on deck. And I'll turn that over to Marco. Marco, an eclectic bunch of guys on the Alab Pilipinas side. Not only their players that start the match, but their role players as well. They can do pretty much everything. They're athletic. They got a lot of experience on their side. Some people thought they might be too old. Not so. Not so,
Chuck. And you talk about the role players. 2 of those come to mind specifically: Rico Meyerhofer, Lawrence Domingo, the guy you said, one of the most athletic players on the floor. They're going to be playing key roles here to Coach Jimmy Alapag. Expect them to really match up against either Chris Charles or Xavier Alexander to try to lessen the burden on Justin Brownlee and Ronaldo Bachman. And of course, together with Josh Erzbintano, you have guys like Paulo Habelona and Pamboy Raimundo playing that point guard spot. And of course, Bobby Ray Park, reigning local MVP. He's going to be expected to carry the load both scoring-wise and defensively as well for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
There is Don right there. He is the heartthrob, 41 years old, I think, and still before the game, Marco, he was getting the most autograph seekers. Just goes to show you, a thoroughbred, and still in the twilight of his career, of course, enjoying maybe not a fantastic season, but fans love to see him, and he's playing the role that Coach Alapag wants him to play. Here come the Slingers, and their substitutes being introduced first on their side of the ball. There have been some changes. No more Ryan Wright, as we said, stepping in to fill the void there. Chris Charles of the Slingers started this season thinks that they go more athletic, get down up and down the court a little bit quicker. Didn't really work out for them the way they thought it would. So Chris Charles filling in the void. He's done a tremendous job, 17 points, averaging and 14 rebounds, good enough for third in the league in the rebound category. There you just saw A.J. Mondani enjoying a so-so season. Offensively, of course, we know his pedigree. He's able to fill it up with the best of him. Needs to make better decisions, perhaps on the defensive and offensive end. Number 17, Ung Bin Han, sort of taking the mantle of Wong Wei Long. He is their sharpshooter. He's the guy they will turn to when they need a three. And what about that guy there, number 32, Russell Lowe, that gives the Slingers another option down low with Delvin Go and Chris Charles, so they can bring him in from time to time. He'll play 12 to 15 minutes. Larry Liu, another one of these guys, primarily an outside shooter, but has the length also to play defense. And what about this guy, Xavier Alexander, a true three. He is able to play his position this year, and he's come through magnificently, averaging 24.7 points a game, 8 boards and 7.9 rebounds. Mr. Volkov will get the start today, primarily a defensive specialist, and there is Chris Charles. And Delvin Go, the guy we've been talking about, he is a local that has turned his game around to the point where he gets the starting assignment, can play either post, high or low. So that is the Singapore Slingers with that record of 7-6, going after a very, very motivated San Miguel Alab Pilipinas team. So if you're to look at all these teams, Marco, Alab Pilipinas will be right up there as far as one of the favorite teams going into the half-point part of the season, and they shake hands, and they will be coming out fighting in just a moment. The Alab Pilipinas and the Singapore Slingers here from OCBC Arena. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us, and it looks to be a full house here. We have our normal array of Philippine expats that are here to support their teams, and man, they do a terrific job of that. So the starting five of both these teams, Marco, I'll let you take it away. First, the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas team.
Well, you see for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, you see Rico Meyerhofer there, number 32, starting. So then he allows them to play that big lineup with Justin Brownlee and Ronaldo Balkman. So Meyerhofer will probably play the 4 spot, Balkman will play the 5. Brownlee slides down to the 3 spot. Parks plays the number 2, and Orbistondo plays the 2 spot. So that gives them that versatility. Also allows them to put a body on Chris Charles aside from Ronaldo Balkman.
So on the other side of the ball, our Singapore Slingers. Here's who they will be going with for their starting five. Check it out here. We got Larry Liu, Xavier Alexander, Volkov in there for defensive purposes. Look for him to play about 3 or 4 minutes, then he'll be off the court. Christian Charles and Delvin Go. Delvin Go we talked about before, so they'll be going high-low to start off with Alexander at his natural position at the number 3. So let's talk about what the coaches and players thought would transpire. We took these interviews before the game.
Especially after the win against Dragons last Sunday, so it built us confident, and hopefully we can be more consistent, coming out and play every game at home.
I think a lot of their game really depends on Xavier Alexander. I think he just does so much for them, both offensively and defensively. So, we'll have to try to find our way to slow him down a little bit. But again, it'll be important for us to continue to build on how we've been playing the last few weeks. I've been really happy with the improvement we've shown from the beginning of the season to where we are now.
Well, I mean, it's good to be back. I did have some memorable moments here in this arena. Singapore got a great crowd, great fans, so it's humbling to be back here, but task at hand, different jersey. Hopefully that we can win this game tonight against the Singapore Slingers.
We just want to come out and try to execute as best as we can. We know that they're actually on a winning streak right now, so we want to try to come in and slow them down a little bit and just execute our plays on offense and defense.
We want to come out and play aggressive defense, okay? And we have to change it up. Full court press, back to zone or whatever. Even we want to double, we need to double because we want to get the ball out of those scoring hands from the players. So we need to really come out with a lot of energy on defense.
So some of the comments for the players on both sides of the ball as we get ready to start the game here between the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and Singapore Slingers. Let's check out what we saw in the last game. Singapore Slingers, that heart-throbbing win against the Westport Malaysian Dragons, 9-89. Double overtime it took for the game to be resolved. As we look at the Alexander inspired game, 32 points for him. And for the other side of the ball, the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, their huge win, 94-91 against Chong Sung Kung Fu, who were at the top of the table at the time, only had 1 loss. Well, they've got 2 now, rebounding Alab Pilipinas. over Chonson, 56-44. Points in the paint also controlled by Alab, and second chance points also. So Alab really putting their game together last game. So as we look at Delvin Go, as we said, he will get the start for the Singapore Slingers and a big part of the offense for the Singapore Slingers. And here he is off the break here on the outlet pass to Mondani, giving off to Go. Easy two for him off the glass. There he is going downhill. Mondani there keeping it and then passing it off to Go on that left wing. So Delvin Go and company will line it up here. And let's take a look at Josh Erzbintondo. If you're a Singapore Slinger fan, you know all about Josh. Valuable part of the Singapore Slingers. Not anymore. He toils for the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and never missing a beat. He still is very, very dangerous from downtown. His leadership abilities are one of the intangibles that make San Miguel Alab Pilipinas so important. So hope we've set this up well enough for you. And Marco Benitez, I think no secret that this game is critical for both these teams. Both these teams on the rise, and the team that comes out here with the win will carry on with the momentum.
Definitely, Chuck. You know, everybody's heading into the second half of the season here, trying to get into that top 6 spots right now. Tanduay Alab Pilipinas at the 4th spot, Singapore at that 5th spot. But this is going to be a game where which team can dominate inside, I feel, will have the advantage.
So straight going downstairs to number 34, that is Bachman. Shot up, yes. Good rotation, getting the ball over to old reliable Josh Erzbintondo from the right wing. So starting off with a 3 ball,
shoots
like he did for the Slingers so many times.
Yeah, 43% from long distance.
Charles rattles out from 15 on the left-hand side. That is his spot. So back the other way comes San Miguel. They'll back it out. Number 32 with the ball. That's Justin Brownlee. Mayhoffer on that right-hand side. Brownlee baseline kick back outside. Volkov turns, fires Bobby Parks. Off the mark a little bit. Ball scooped back outside. Right in the path of Erzbintondo, in and out. Offensive board and a collision there between Bobby Parks and Delvin Go. Will go the way of Singapore.
And I like the insertion of Delvin Go because that also allows Singapore to really go big. Poses a matchup problem here for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. But the matchup to watch here, Alexander versus Justin Brownlee.
So Coach Alapog pretty much hinted that the fortunes of Alab would rest on the ability to stop the X-Man. Let's see how that pans out. Go off the dribble, loses it in the lane. Nice job by number 10, that is Mayhoffer. He comes back with it, looking for numbers. Gets the ball off into the hands of Bachman. Bachman has his pocket flip. So back again, back-to-back turnover, sloppy play at the beginning here, Marco.
And that's something that Alab has to really be careful of. They were outdone, especially terms of turnover points. Great block there by Bachman.
Yeah, Bachman, great timing by him. Dashing in the lane, picked off again by the X-Man. He's got 2 red shirts ahead of him. He'll wait. Now he'll rotate the ball to the basket and a foul. That will go on number 34, Ronaldo Bachman. So both these teams coughing the ball up in the interior, active hands in the lane.
That's correct, Chuck. Remember, in that game they lost against Singapore, Alab gave up 20 turnover points to the Slingers. 3 turnovers here to start this first quarter.
So not a shooting foul. Charles, little catch and shoot. Can't bang it home. Offensive board. That is Maher. Long outlet pass broken up by Volkov. Nice job by him. And back comes Singapore. They've got numbers. 4 on 3. Kick back outside. Almost picked off again. Delvin Go will get it back in the hands of the X-Men. Now downstairs to Charles. Charles double pump fake. Left hand. Kick back outside. Alexander for the 3 ball. Off the mark.
And notice also they're closing out short on Xavier Alexander. They're going to give him that 3-point shot all afternoon long.
The Boston back after it. Wild looking shot there by Mayhoffer is off the mark. So still 3-2. Alexander off the dribble, accelerates, and tough angle. I don't think he was going to hit Pedro with that anyway, but reaching over and fouling. Let's see who they will put that on. Is that Bachman again?
Looks like it's going against Justin Brownlee, so that's 2 quick fouls. 1 on Brownlee, 1 on Bachman, the 2 world imports of Alab Pilipinas.
So here it is again. Alexander rotating inside. And off the ball, just getting a piece of it. Alexander to tie it up at 3. Check that. Yes, 3-3. Coach Nyo looking pensive. So Alexander, Singapore, number 7 in the league in free throws, just over 63%. He swirls that one in. So Slingers with that sliver of a lead early on here. 7:23 to go here at the OTBC Arena. If you just joined us, San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas. Singapore Slingers, Urban Tondo in the lane. Nice job getting underneath, almost picked off. Bobby Ray Parton gets it inside. Double pump fake again. Little 12-footer. Can't get it to fall. Almost gets in. Delvin Go with the rebound.
Solid interior defense by the Slingers.
So interior defense stepping up. That will count as an opportunity missed there for San Miguel, however. Alexander with the left hand. Back up jumper for 2. Larry Liu there to clean it up. He tries to go baseline and loses it. Nice job to seal off the baseline by Alab Pilipinas.
And I like what the Slingers are doing, putting on early pressure here, especially at the backcourt of Alab Pilipinas.
So back from the guys in red, Alab Pilipinas. Bobby Ray Parks with the left hand on that left-hand side, looking for movement. Nobody moving for him. Slivers inside the lane, and Chris Charles knocks it away.
That's great help defense from Chris Charles.
Volkov looking downstairs instead. Oh boy, almost throwing that ball away. Lucky Larry Liu there to clean up the three. It's good.
And you know, that game where Singapore won, they had 16-6 advantage in terms of second chance points. So Larry Liu, big bucket right there.
So barking out the signals is Bachman this time. Gets the ball to Brownlee. Brownlee rotates. Acceleration dribble. Ballhopper from that right-hand side. Post up. Now he kicks it back outside. Singapore looking like a 3-2 defense. Inside it goes. Nice job on the interior. Delvin Go on the X-man. Back comes Delvin Go. Rotates the ball to the right. Now inside with Chris Charles. Bachman on him. Reaching in the lane. Almost losing it. Back outside again. Long 2 is off the mark. Stepping in will be Bachman. Outlet pass. Bobby Ray Parks ahead of the pack. If it goes, it would have counted, so it did not. Urban Tondo furious at his teammates not getting back in time. Watch this again. Bobby Ray Parks easily getting around Larry Liu.
Yeah. Actually, the first opportunity for Alab Pilipinas to really get out on the break. Defense of Singapore has been solid in the half court. Chuck has really prevented Alab from getting good looks, and their offense has looked disconnected here in the first quarter.
So the pace of the game going right now in Singapore's favor, they would love it. It looks like they're sitting almost in a 3-2 type of defense. They've got Delvin Go and the X-Man back on that back line and aggressively tracking down on the ball from the perimeter. So a little bit of a new wrinkle that we've seen for Singapore, and I'm sure that's why Coach Alab called the timeout. They're going to have to make some adjustments to counter that.
And you're exactly correct, Chuck. I noticed Delvin Go just parking himself inside that shaded area, not really minding where Meyerhofer is, does not give any respect to Meyerhofer as a threat from the outside, and that allows Chris Charles also to back out a little bit against Ronaldo Bachman, because Ronaldo Bachman not really known as a three-point shooter, so they're really clogging the lane inside against Alab Pilipinas.
Obviously, both these teams looking at a lot of video. They're not strangers to each other, so any new wrinkle that you can throw in the game plans can make a definite difference, but the quality of both these coaching staffs and the basketball IQ of the players, you know that once that wrinkle has been figured out, Alab Pilipinas will make the adjustment. Larry Liu knocked down that huge three just a little while ago. So Alab, in the last 4 minutes, 26 seconds, only 3 points on the board. So let's see what they change up here off the timeout to counter what Singapore has been doing on the defensive end. Both these teams playing a little bit sloppy. 3 turnovers for Alab, I think, to start off. Singapore with 2. So a little bit of jitters entering the landscape for both these teams. I think they recognize, both of them, Marco, that this is a big game for a lot of different reasons. But, you know, Alab, of course, they're the hottest team in the league, 8 out of 9, and they are the road warriors. They've only lost 1 game away from their own arena.
That is correct. And, you know, adjustment here by Coach Jimmy Alab, putting a little token pressure on the backcourt, and Bobby Ray Parks now picking up Xavier Alexander, so that gives Justin Brownlee on Mitchell Volkov.
What do we have here? Use of the forearm or elbow by Larry Liu. Referee right there to smell it out. So a turnover. Larry Liu trying to fend off the long arm defender and counters with that forearm. So break there for San Miguel, and that's a 3rd turnover for Singapore. So Bobby Parks will yo-yo it back down. He's got Volkov in his pocket. Parks looking inside. Brownlee on the low post. Xavier on him. Brownlee posting up now. Tries to turn the corner. Rises and fires. Counted in one.
That's a good play there for Alab Pilipinas, isolating Justin Brownlee, getting Urbis Tondo to go up to the top of the key to try to draw defense away. So it's one-on-one against Xavier Alexander, picking up the first personal on Alexander.
And great separation as he goes up into the air. X-Man takes a step backwards, as does Brownlee, but Brownlee good control. Gets it, and a chance for Alab Pilipinas to break open the tie. They do not, so 7 apiece here. We trickle it down to the 5-minute mark. Alexander behind the screen, looking inside for movement. And again, Singapore, not much movement on the offensive end there. Maldani flashes through. Ball knocked away, picked up by Alexander. Shot will be way off the mark. Gang rebounding inside. Kick back out. Maldani with the ball again. Little jump step to the hoop, up and in, off the glass.
Instant offense off the bench for AJ Mandani. This guy averages 10 points per game, but in their wins against Alab, Chuck, he's averaging a whopping 20 points per game in those wins.
Parks again working that left-hand side against Volkov. Out pops Brownlee. Catch and shoots from 3, no good. And there to clean it up with number 34, Ronaldo Bachman. Singapore absent, trying to box out. Bachman just steps in as pretty as you please, thank you very much, and a foul off the dribble. That, I believe, will go on Bachman.
And this combination of Justin Brownlee and Ronaldo Bachman have been really critical here for Alab Pilipinas. Both guys having 20-plus points and double digits in rebounding pretty much every game.
So Coach Alatag, now no indication who the foul's on as of yet. I thought it might be Bachman, it was not. Still only the one by his name. Alexander taking the screen by Charles, rotates inside. Delve and go, that little spin move of his, and he's fouled. That will go on number 10, Paul Rico Meyerhofer. So Meyerhofer with his first foul.
And Delvigo has really learned to use that spin move to the middle to his advantage.
That is a move that is just brand new to Delvingo's repertoire. Before, he was pretty much just an all right-handed player. He has stepped up his game by leaps and bounds the last year in the offseason, working very, very hard. So hits the first of 2, Coach Alpago, and we said looking very dapper in his white shirt and tie. 2 of 2. So the Slingers with the 2-point bulge right now with 4:03 to go. Bobby Parks still sticking to that left-hand side. Bin Han now in the game, marking him. Bounce pass inside. X-Man bumping and grinding inside. The Paulhofer can't get it to go.
That's a sorry miss there. Nice pass coming from Justin Brownlee to the open Meyerhofer.
Pull-up jumper by X-Man is off the mark.
Notice also,
gets the rebound.
Notice also, Chuck, how Brownlee is hanging back on Xavier Alexander.
Still working on him. Back-up jumper again. Can't get it to ball. Alexander right there to clean it up. He'll run it back. Gets the ball over to that right-hand side. Little show and go by Mondani. Hits the lane. Back outside. Alexander in a crowd there. Blocked away. Nice job of interior defense there by San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Earthman Tondo. Stop and pop in the elbow. No good. Follow-up rebound. Yes, Brownlee from the side. Doing a good job beating Singapore downstairs. They had 2 or 3 red shirts down there.
And that was 1-on-1 against AJ Mandani. And Mandani with very little to do against Justin Brownlee on the offensive glass.
So Alexander rotating the ball to Mondani, takes the screen, bounce back over off the roll. Whoa. Oh my goodness. So Delvin go, a little bit out of his comfort zone, but hold your breath and hope for the best, and that's exactly what happened for Singapore.
And continuing to expand that repertoire is Delvin go.
Han Bin having some problems over there with Bobby Ray Parks. And hands all over him.
And I get how Coach Neo wants to put a bigger body on Bobby Ray Parks, but Han Bin not quick enough on the dribble against Bobby Ray Parks.
I thought that Volkov did a pretty good job of him. The thing that Volkov isn't going to give you much on offense, so you want to keep him there for 5 or 6 minutes and rotate Han Bin. And Bobby Ray Parks, his eyes have to be as big as silver dollars when he sees that matchup. Easily getting him around again. Pull-up jumper, can't get it to go, but he had the space. Just didn't execute. Mondani off the dribble now. Charles ahead of him. X-Man to the left, gets the ball. Now back to Mondani looking for movement. See somebody makes a cut. There's a screen there from Delvin Go. Downstairs he goes. Delvin Go tries to go baseline. Puts it up and in. Nice job. Good link there for Delvin Go off the pass by Mondani.
A nice recognition from Delvin Go, recognizing he had the smaller Pamboy Raimundo on him.
So he's got 6. Leading scorer on the court for the Slingers. Dump in pass to Bachman. Still Bachman. The leaner is good.
Nice two-man game between Bobby Ray Parker and Aldo Bachman, just isolating each other on that left side of the floor.
And somebody missing well, there was a foul before. I was going to say, how could Montani get uncontested to the basket there, but a holding. So let's see who that goes on. So foul situation, nobody in foul trouble yet. The San Miguel Alab Pilipinas have fouled 5, so they will be in the penalty situation after this one. But nobody with more than 1 foul on either team. Unlike a couple of the other matchups that we've seen between these two. Maldani rims it home for the first one. Singapore stretching the lead to 3. As you look at some of the crowd on both sides, not too many empty seats.
And Chuck, very characteristic of the Slingers, keeping it a low-scoring ball game, just 17-13 here, and we're almost done. 1:32 left in the first quarter.
Well, that would be how the Slingers would want to draw it up, keep the score down. Remember, the Slingers not a very prolific scoring team. In fact, they are 7th in the league in scoring, just over 83 points a game. Bobby Ray Parks again getting around Ung Han Bin, stepping in to get the rebound as Charles. Outlet pass going to the X-Man. Minute 12 to go here in the first quarter. Ung rotates it back. X-Man around the screen of Charles and tries to get it to him. The ball on the floor. Not a good possession there for Singapore at all. Outlet pass going in. Lining up a 2. It's good. That was number 0, John Murphy Raimundo.
And one of the few fast break points Alab Pilipinas has gotten here in the first quarter. Baseline jumper from Pamboy Raimundo.
So mistake at the opposite end, and quickly San Miguel convert at the other end. Alexander, number 32 in the game now. Russell Lowe for Singapore. Alexander pushes a long 3. It's good.
Finally hitting that 3-point shot. That was the shot that Domingo had given him.
So Domingo in the game, also number 3, very athletic. He will be charged with looking after the X-Man. So Alexander now to 5 off the dribble. Leaner inside, Brownlee using the glass.
Very difficult shot there from Justin Brownlee over the outstretched hands of the Slingers defender.
Alexander and company, look at that build-up on the right-hand side, holding on. Let's see if that's going to go against Charles. Charles bumping into Brownlee and pushing him away.
And they've not really gone into Chris Charles in the post almost the entire second half of that first quarter.
So referee right there with the elbow was Chris Charles. So back down the other end it will come. Chris Charles will see if he'll stay in the game. Yes, he is. No, he is not. He will go and sit. Long 3 at the buzzer. Didn't miss by much. So that will do it. An interesting first quarter. Marco Benitez 20-17 in favor of the Singapore Slingers over the San Miguel New Look Alab Pilipinas. And we'll step back and take a break and be back for second quarter action here at the OCBC Arena after this.
Right now we have our shots on the shootout. Who do we have here? Okay, Harrison, what to do? You have 1 minute. All right, make as many baskets as you can. You have 1 minute.
I think this is exactly how they want to play.
You make your shots from the red zone. You have 1 hour. From the blue zone, 2 hours. From the white zone, 11 hours. This shootout is sponsored by Shot Zone, and now we have Harrison on the court. If you make the shot on the red zone, you have 1 hour. Blue zone, that's 2 hours. The white zone, 11 hours. That's 1 hour. Almost. Come on. 20 seconds. Come on, give it up for Harrison, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. OCBC Arena game between the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and the Singapore Slingers, 20-17 in favor of Singapore. And my partner, Marco Benitez, and I were talking that this is just the sort of pace that might favor the Slingers.
It's been a defensive game so far in the first quarter. Slingers really packing it inside the paint. That's why San Miguel Alab Pilipinas rather just shooting 35% or 33% rather from the field. So Slingers making it really difficult for them to get baskets. Only 4 points from the fast break for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, while Slingers have really dominated inside. And I would like to think that they try to get the ball more into Chris Charles and try to get him more touches inside the paint and draw some more fouls from Ronaldo Bachman.
We saw the Singapore Slingers with their offense going to a 3-2 at one point. They since abandoned that, but it worked wonders for them for about 3 or 4 minutes. We got some stats for you for that first quarter. 6 of 14 for the Slingers for 42.9%, and as Marco said on the other side of the ball, 7-21, 33.3%. Turnovers, interesting, 3 for San Miguel and 5 for the Singapore Slingers. So San Miguel doing a better job of taking care of the ball, and Singapore not, oh my goodness, wanting the foul, didn't get it. Charles, to his credit, stayed with it. The sloppy play by the Slingers. He almost walked right there. The fans wanted that call. Mondani can line up a long three, going to be way off the mark. Stepping in the lane and picking it up is number 0, Raimondo. Raimondo giving it back to Dominguez. A cute angle there, but picking it up is Brownlee. Brownlee in the lane, double punt, no good. So
Back-to-back missed
Filipinos,
possessions.
yeah, they're getting their opportunities. They're just not converting at the other end. It's the X-Man, left side, right hand off the glass, up and in. So 22-17.
Showing everybody just how to finish a fast break is Xavier Alexander. You think it's strong against Brownlee.
So San Miguel shooting themselves in the foot a couple of times early on here. Score could be much closer than it is. Dominguez losing the ball right into the hands of Mondani. He's off to the races. He's got the X-Man by him. Chris Charles on his way.
Perfect fast break run there by the Slingers. 2 quick passes, and Alexander recognizing and rewarding his big man, Chris Charles, for running the floor.
Volkov, little hit pass inside. Or check that with Raimondo on the baseline. And a foul, and that will go on. Well, he stepped on the baseline, they're going to say. So another turnover.
That was a nice double there coming from Russell Lowe. Unexpected from Ronaldo Bachman, forcing that turnover on the baseline.
So Russell Lowe doing a good job of sealing it off underneath. Chris Charles looking for movement, rotates the ball over to Volkov. Now downstairs, Russell Lowe wanted it. He feels he's got a mismatch down there, stepping through. Yeah, coming in around Dominguez.
And those points, either from Russell Lowe or Delvin Go, whenever they get it, those are bonus points for the Singapore Slingers. That's a good matchup for Russell Lowe against Domingo.
So that's the sort of thing that the Slingers haven't had, the look the Slingers have not had in the past. Now they've got 3 bigs, 2 that's going to sort of complement Chris Charles, Delvin Go, and Russell Lowe. Russell Lowe now with 2 points, Go with 6. So you put both those numbers together. And then you've got 8 points, game in and game out. Last game we saw Delvin Go with 12 points and Russell Lowe with 6, so 18. So they're taking full advantage of the developing talents of these 2 local guys.
That's correct, Chuck. And also on the defensive end, it gives you another big body to double up on a Ronaldo Bachman or a Brownlee, just to put more tall bodies in the paint, relieve some of the defensive pressure on Chris Charles to have to defend the best big man of the opposing team.
So Singapore doing a great job of clogging up the middle, forcing a lot of Philippines coming out of their offensive set. What they don't want to do is turn into a jump shooting team. I know that that is not a lot of Filipinas game. They like to mix it up. They'd like, if they could, to get in the open court, and they've done that several times, but they just haven't been able to convert.
That is correct, and I think right now, Coach Jimmy Alapag sending Dodon Ontiveros into the floor. Hopefully, he's hoping for some outside shooting, as Singapore is really packing it inside the paint, so they want to open that lane up a bit, especially for those penetrations coming from Justin Brownlee or Ronaldo Bachman.
So Don Ontiveros, the ageless one, will check in, 41 years of age. He has been doing it for so many years, he could probably hit a jump shot in his sleep. So
has not had that breakout performance yet, though.
Brownlee around the screen. Now they double him up. Somebody's got to be open. And skipping out of the way just in time Domingo, nice job on the left side. The three is no good, but right back into his hands. Domingo with the runner in the lane. The follow still can't get it to go. Loose ball picked up by Fulcott. Mondani steps through. So dodging the bullet again. Chris Charles, left hand now, fires, no good. Domingo pulls down the rebound, and San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas, they're getting great position for these shots, but they're just not executing. Inside, rolling home, and missing another one. My goodness.
Almost like there's a lid on that basket, Chuck.
So Ronaldo Boston, step-up jumper there. Mondani can't finish it, and another rebound for Domingo. He's been active. Downstairs it goes, and losing it is Bachman again.
And that's going to be turnover number 7 for San Miguel.
So here they are in the open court, little push pass. And Bachman, I don't know, just took his eye off of it.
And you talk about those wasted possessions there for San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas, especially now that they're down by 9 points. And Coach Jimmy Alapag will surely be talking about those at the halftime.
So Mondani, he's been instrumental. Kick back outside to Russell Lowe. He'll throw the screen. That will leave Domingo with the X-Man around the other way. Nice double screen, that time thrown by Charles. A little spin move inside and one.
Nice big-to-big screen there to get that switch. Coming for Alabanza. Alabanza just not quick enough there to defend Xavier Alexander in the post.
Well, great double screen. You could see that right there. Charles coming out and sort of sandwiching Domingo. There, your separation, and there's no way Domingo is going to be able to recover from that. Easily getting around John Ray Albanazo. And missing the free throw. See, save, but right in the hands of the X-Man. Back outside again, Mondani. Stop and pump for two, no. Outlet pass, way down the court. Josh is there to receive it. He'll wait for numbers. Kick back outside, long three. Got it.
That was a big shot there from Brownlee. I thought the Slingers did a great job getting back in transition, but Brownlee connecting on that three-point shot, his first of the game.
And they needed that. Look at the shooting statistics from beyond the arc in Domingo. What do we have here? Offensive foul on Russell Lowe.
Looks like it was a traveling violation on Russell Lowe. Just a little too eager in that matchup against Lawrence Domingo.
Well, Singapore obviously think that they've got an advantage downstairs, and they're using it relentlessly. The other side of the ball, San Miguel just not taking advantage of their opportunities, and a foul, no foul, and another blown layup.
Yep. And Chris Charles really doing a lot to change those shots, as Xavier Alexander scoring on this end of the floor, so 4-point swing.
Unbelievable. Brownlee determined, and the tip back inside. Brownlee following his own shot.
And sensing it's time to take over is Justin Brownlee as they draw this second quarter to a close.
So 30-22, and Brownlee putting the team on his back. Singapore owning the game on the inside. Alexander will back it up. Charles will come up and deliver the screen on Domingo. Getting some separation there. Double pump fake, no foul. Picked up by Josh Erzbintano. Erzbintano will back it up. Rotates the ball to the hot hand. Justin Brownlee ball stepped in, and Alexander getting a hand on that. Now Josh again motioning for Brownlee to come over. Switching to the right hand. Josh catch, shoot from three. Yeah.
And they wanted that play ever since a couple of seconds before that. Great job by Brownlee to find his open shooter in Urbistondo.
Got to be really impressed with the play there. Josh Erzbintano orchestrating that play. You saw the return pass over to Brownlee. He took one step back. Brownlee sort of read his mind, got the ball right back in his hand. No hesitation at all. Josh launches it. So a little 6-0 run for Alab Pilipinas.
That's correct. And they read that play, wanted the mismatch against Ang Han Bin, forcing Alexander to double. And don't look now, just a 5-point deficit here for Alab Pilipinas.
So the game just starting to get away slightly from San Miguel, so they go to their veteran leadership. Again, Brownlee and Josh Erzbintano carrying the weight for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, as they were down by as many as 10 points, and it didn't look good for them. Not able to convert on some very, very simple plays that they had honestly, they earned. They got the separation. They were making some inroads. They were getting the ball in the open court, getting the ball downstairs with some favorable matchups, but just not able to convert. And now finally, strangely enough, hitting the shots that a little bit lower as far as the chances to make go. So doing it from downtown when they had been getting a lot of opportunities downstairs in the paint.
And that is what is big, Chuck, because Alab Pilipinas is able to hit it from the outside right now. That might force the Slingers to really open up in terms of their interior defense. On the offensive end, let's see if the Slingers try to go back to Xavier Alexander. That big-to-big screen with Chris Charles that really worked for them, even though Alexander was not able to get that last basket.
Alexander creating, freelancing on a couple of occasions, has 11 points. He leads all scorers. Well, he leads him and Brownlee with 11. So Russell Lowe still on the game, getting the ball in the hands of Now Charles on that low block, just as you predicted, Marco, and the foul quickly on the mismatch. John Ray Alabanza, there's no way he's going to stay with Chris Charles at 6'5".
And I don't think they've gone to that matchup enough, that one-on-one on the post with Chris Charles. There's nobody there who's even as close to as big as Chris Charles and can guard him one-on-one.
So Delvin Go will check back into the game for Russell Lowe, who had a productive 5 minutes. Bounce pass and a, what do we have here?
That's going to be a foul on Alabanza. Useless foul pretty much. That's going to be the third team foul on San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
So 2 on Alabanza, check that, 3 on Alabanza. Everybody else with 1, so that's the only foul concern for either team. Lou will check it out on the near side. And gets the ball into the hands of Chris Charles. Downstairs it goes. Somebody was asleep. Larry Lou going baseline, victimizing Josh Urzbentondo.
Defensive miscommunication. Coach Alab not happy with that nice sideline inbounds play coming from the Slingers.
So a little bit of ball watching that time by San Miguel. Brownlee with the ball in his hands accepts the screen. Over the top to Domingo. Domingo inside. Nice job by him. Little show and go movement by number 3, Domingo.
A nice job by Brownlee to accept the double team from the 2 world imports. Kick it out once again, and Domingo going with that penetration.
So 4:15 and counting to go. Alexander getting the ball downstairs again to Charles, looking for cutters. Gets the ball to Alexander. He's rounded up by a plethora of players inside. And Charles for 2. And what do we have here?
It looks like they're calling
3 seconds.
Yeah, for 3 seconds.
So 3-second violation, no bucket. So the score remains 32-27. So a little bit of a fire lit underneath San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Singapore opened up that 10-point lead, but they have been reeled in. Brownlee again. There's the screen. And what is that? An aggressive foul there. I think it's going to be on Alexander. Or will it be Chris Charles? Yes, it's going to be Charles holding on as they try to come up and trap Brownlee.
That's going to be the second personal foul on Chris Charles.
So they will not want him to pick up another one before half. You're looking at the foul situation. That is the only concern for Singapore. Alexander with 1. Urzbentondo to inbound it. So the focal point of the offense now has been Josh Brownlee. Ball almost picked off. Up in the air, volleyed around right into the path of Domingo.
And that's going to be another turnover here for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Domingo.
Well, it was a loose ball. So that's a tough call, really. Look at it. The ball is on the floor. And the push from behind on number 12, A.J. Mondani. Watch it again. There he is. Incidental contact, but they all count. So Singapore with the ball back.
And points off turnovers. Chuck, 6 points off turnovers for the Slingers, just 4 for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
Alexander, up pops Delvin Go. Now Larry Lou runs to the ball. Josh on him. Bounce pass to Mondani. Delvin Go rotates inside, takes the ball to the basket. Nice rebound there by Baughman. Good position. He's going to take the ball downstairs. Off the foul, and the follow is good. Nice job, nice coverage by San Miguel Alab Pilipinas as they finish it up.
And this is one thing San Miguel Alab Pilipinas has done, especially here in the second quarter. They've been able to run, Chuck, 11 points on fast breaks right now. Great trail job there coming from Ronaldo Baughman.
Nice job there by the X-Man to follow the play, but watch after the block. He takes himself out of position, opening up a lot of space for Bachman just to step through easy as you please.
And that's the importance of Chris Charles. Without Chris Charles, not really anybody there who's a legitimate shot blocker on the floor outside of Xavier Alexander.
So down to a 3-point lead for the Slingers. Back in the game is Russell Lowe. Larry Liu over to Alexander, looking downstairs. So let's see if they can take up the slack for Chris Charles. A kick on Donnie, gets the ball back to Lowe. Lowe, right side, wild looking hook shot, and his is off the mark. Vying for the rebound on the floor, picked up by Brownlee eventually. So the loose ball bleeds out in the path of Brownlee. Now Bachman, his turn inside. He goes, rotating to the rim, can't get it to fall. Mondani loses the ball in transition. A 3-ball to tie it up, no good. Josh Earthman-Tondo steps inside. He's wrangled up at the baseline, inside again. Blocked away, nice shot by Sheldon Go. On the break, the X-Man. One man to beat going downhill. And a foul, oh my goodness. Well, the Philippine crowd, and I'm not so sure they're wrong. That might have been a traveling call. Check it out, look at the X-Man on the break.
There's that big hop.
Wow.
There's that block by Meyerhofer. Looks like Meyerhofer got Alexander on the hand on the way down.
Well, tough to tell from that angle, but the crowd not liking what they saw.
That was a lucky break there on the part of Singapore. Great stop on the other end coming from Delvin Go and Russell Lowe. And Xavier Alexander going downhill, knows what to do.
So the X-Man a little bit guilty of forcing the action. The crowd will be happy that he missed that, but got away with one in my estimation.
But you get the sense that both teams picking up in terms of intensity here towards the end of the second quarter.
Well, being spurred on by the crowd, and the crowd, to be honest, is about 50-50.
Yeah.
So Slingers with a 4-point lead. A lot of Philippines having to hustle to get the ball up the court. Bachman, again, he's been the focal point the last couple of possessions. Easily getting around Russell Lowe off the glass, and a foul by Delvin Go, trying to cut off the baseline.
And past 2 or 3 possessions, Bachman has really become more aggressive, attacking the basket, recognizing the absence of Chris Charles on the floor.
Chris Charles exiting with 2 fouls. They would like to give him the rest of the time off and still hold on to the lead. They gamble, but hopefully it'll pay off for the Slingers if you happen to be a Slingers fan. Coach Alab, so switching the focal point of the offense from Justin Brownlee to Ronaldo Bachman. It's paying off for him at the moment as they climb to within 2 or 3. Check that, 33-30.
But Bachman averages about 21 points per game. Right now he's only at 7 points here in the first half. But already with 5 rebounds, 4 of those on the offense, or 2 of those on the offensive glass.
University of South Carolina, 2003-6 NBA draft, 20th pick overall by the New York Knicks. So he's got a good pedigree and getting a lot back to within a pair. Back comes Singapore and Xavier Alexander. Up pops Delvin Go or Russell Lowe. Now he'll go back downstairs, go to the low post. Delvin goes, Singapore spreads it out, working on Malhofer. Inside again, left hand, kick back outside, Alexander for 3, yes!
And that's a big shot. That's a second 3-point shot of Xavier Alexander. That's going to make Justin Brownlee really think hard whether to come out hard against Xavier Alexander from the 3-point line.
So they give the ball back in the hands of Brownlee. Earthman-Tondo coming up. There's the switch, Larry Liu, that's a mismatch. Downstairs it goes, and going through the crowd is Ronaldo Bachman.
And Coach Neil Bergshang asking for a traveling violation from Ronaldo Bachman.
Earthman-Tondo on Volkov. Downstairs it goes again. Alexander looking for movement. Isn't going to get any. Bobby Ray Parks is on him. Rises, fires the 2. Wow. Xavier Alexander on the backup jumper.
Really starting to feel it here as you close out the first half. Smaller defender against him, no problem.
Trading buckets here so far. Let's see if Earthman-Tondo tries to get the ball back in the hands, or Parks tries to get the ball in the hands of Bachman. Downstairs trying to front him is Russell Lowe. Bounce pass and getting behind the defense is number 10. Nice job of recognition Paul Rico Meyerhofer.
And that's one thing from Ronaldo Bachmann, always unselfish, ready to give up that pass in the event of a double team.
Russell Lowe. Lou fires up a three off the mark. Mistiming that one was Delvin goes, so back comes Brownlee and company as we zip it under the 20-second mark. So 24-second clock is off right now. So opportunity for San Miguel to tie it up right here, right now. Bachmann off the dribble, still Bachmann rotates the ball. A two, the little runner, and the rain is good.
Great clock management there from San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas. Last bucket of the first half, ending it on a positive note.
So 38-37, the Slingers will go into the locker room barely with a lead, a sliver of a lead, 38-37. Nice job by San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas to come back from a 10-point deficit and to make those adjustments on the fly, which you have to do. Jimmy Olipog has to be very happy with his troops. We'll be back for our halftime show after this. Halftime, 38-37, Slingers over San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas when we return.
Please welcome onto the court in red, we have Team Rockhoppers versus in blue, Upball. These are our friends from Paraguay. And today they'll be having a 3-on-3 matchup. So they'll be playing 4 minutes.
Yeah, plays of the week, yeah.
So 4 minutes.
Alab's got these guys early down 1-1. They're shooting 48% from the floor. That's right. 8-3 on the O boards. Singapore's caught the ball up 9 times after a slow. I mean, there you go. Momentum pointing their way.
I think they're doing a good job on the second chance points.
Team Upball right now on the offense.
Second chance points. That's one thing that Singapore really did well in the last matchup. They really crashed the boards.
Is the score still 0-0? Come on, Rockhoppers, come on. Team Upball gets the first basket. 3 minutes to go on. Oh. Rejected by Team Upball. Under basket for 2. That's 2.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful area around the Marina Bay area, the Sands Motel. Sounds Hotel and Casino, actually. So the Lion City of Singapore hosts of this game today, and Marco Benitez and Chuck Schreiner with you. So happy you could join us today. And Marco, what a first half. Pretty much going to our expectations. A close game, going back and forth. A lot of chess moves, strategic moves by both these coaches.
Well, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, I think Chuck started out a little bit flat-footed. Singapore got the good start, went up by as much as 10 points. In that second quarter, once Chris Charles came out because of foul trouble, that's really the time when Alab became more aggressive, going to the basket, and really got more second chance opportunities.
Okay, match highlights from first half. Xavier Alexander, followed by Chris Charles there. Alexander, you'll see a lot more of that. He had to freelance a few times and very aggressive to the basket. It was a very, very physical game in the first half. That's Brownlee who started to take over. This is after the Singapore Slingers started to forge a pretty good lead. Erzvin Tondo, he had 2 threes in the game, and that is the second one right there. Chris Charles, while he was still in the game, look at that. Somebody falling asleep. That was Erzvin Tondo downstairs, allowing Larry Liu to get free on the baseline. So backdoor. Back the other way comes Bachman. Bachman getting the ball, everything downhill right now, and the finish for him, alertly staying with the ball off the miss by number 10. That was Meyerhofer. So back the other way, Delvin go, that patent move of his, and Alexander letting it fly from Freesville today, filling it up. He has 2 threes to go with his 17 points, leading all scorers. Bachman again, stepping through 2 defenders. What a move by him, just bullying his way to the basket. Bachman 13, or check that, 10 first half points. Brownlee with 13. Alexander, no movement at all by Singapore, so saving the day. Alexander, the backup jumper there. Bounce pass inside. Bachman again finding Bonhoeffer underneath for the easy 2. As all the attention was focused on number 34, Ronaldo Bachman. So Brownlee, the step-up jumper to end the scoring to make it 38-37. So let's take a look at the stats here. 38-37, we said, in favor of Singapore. 18 rebounds to 14, but look at the offensive board. 7-3 in favor of Alab Filipinos. Turnovers 9-7 in favor of Alab Filipinos. Free throws, field goal percentage. And we were talking about San Miguel, a lot of field good. They're only shooting 38.9%, but still only down by 1 point. So top 10 plays of the week. These were all the games that were played last week around the ABL. Let's take a look. Okay.
No. Out that pass, Ivan Young all alone. And a block, that chase down block for Anthony Tucker.
Anthony Tucker, not really known as a great shot blocker, but you love the effort there from your number 1 player.
Ball punched away. Mondo with a 3. Off the mark, stepping in. Getting the rebound, putting it back up again. Off the mark. Mondo with the shot at the buzzer. Singapore. The Dragons tied up at 72 apiece.
Guy throws it down.
Freddie Leash has been playing his heads-up basketball. Nice assist there.
Ray Parks is not really contributing on the offensive end today. And here comes Rico Meyerhofer. Rico Meyerhofer with a 2-handed slam. But may have hurt his shoulder there.
Take the ball back down the court. We approach the 4-minute mark behind the back pass. Oh, beautiful pass to West, who does the rest. Westing it home.
Side McKinney. Head of the pack. McKinney. Oh, denied. Up top by Ting.
That's great help defense there from Ting Chun Hung.
But if you don't have a guard who can get the ball to him.
Another baseball pass by Aguilar.
Oh, and a jam there! The hops shown by Chai.
Brownlee. Scott denying, parks the basketball. Bookman! With a thunderous throwdown! I don't know where we are, but even the crowd got up for that slam.
Again, right there to get the steal. The lob and the jump!
go, and back come the Slingers. Go, full head of speed, yes! Delvin, go, downhill racer. Welcome back, everybody, to OCBC Arena, and nice looking crowd. Final, or the score here at halftime, 38-37 in favor of the Singapore Slingers. And just talk for about a moment, my buddy Marco Benitez here. The parity in the league, I mean, we've seen the league grow by leaps and bounds. Now we've got 9 teams. All the teams, I mean, they play each other, some teams 4 times, some teams will play 2 times, depending on what division you're in. But Marco, I think the quality, you would agree, has gone leaps and bounds the last couple of years.
Oh, definitely, Chuck. Eddie, if you take a look at the teams that we have right now, you talk about the Hong Kong Eastern Basketball Club, Chong Son Kung Fu, previously undefeated teams, falling to the Saigon Heat, who is currently at 6th spot right now. So the number 6 team being able to defeat the number 1 and the number 2 teams. And then you have the Singapore Slingers, San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas, as well as the Mono Vampire squad, who's also probably one of the deepest teams in terms of local talents as well. So just a very deep and competitive lineup. You still have the CLS Knights and you have the Formosa Dreamers still trying to find their way, though, at the bottom of the heap. But it's going to be a very interesting wind-up here to the regular season.
Now we look at the decisions that teams make on the specific rosters they get. We see almost everybody doing the same. You've got to have a big man. You've got to have a big man. And the teams that do have a big man, and if they also have a good guard like a Brickman or somebody like that, then they're set.
That's correct. You see, you talk about Hong Kong, they've got the Marcus Elliott, Tyler Lamb, and Stan Hardinger. You talk about Chong Son Kung Fu, they've got Justin Howard, and they have Anthony Tucker. So it's a same pattern pretty much for the top teams in the league.
Okay, we'll be back for third quarter action, man. Singapore with that sliver of lead, as we said, 38-37 here at the OCBC Arena. We'll be back for third quarter action after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. OCBC Arena. We've got a tight one here, 38-37 in favor of the Singapore Slingers over the San Miguel, the red-hot San Miguel Alab Pilipinas team. Looking at some of the stats here in the first half, leading the way for the Singapore Slingers. Of course, the X-Man, very dependable, 17 points for him. Nobody else in double figures for the Slingers, although Delvin Go with 6 on the other side of the ball, taking over the game for Alab Pilipinas. Towards the middle of the second quarter was Brownlee, Justin Brownlee. He's got 13, and then Ronaldo, sort of like a tag team. Then Ronaldo Bachman took over. He's got 10, and they kept the San Miguel team in the game towards that second quarter. It looked like a little bit, Marco, that Singapore was going to take over this game. They led by 10.
Well, I think Chuck, Singapore is going to have to pound the ball more into Chris Charles. Remember in their win against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas that last time in Manila, they really pounded the ball and dominated in terms of points in the paint. They have not really done that here in this game. They've been bailed out with the three-point shooting of Xavier Alexander and Larry Liu, but they're really going to have to get Chris Charles involved, especially if they want to offset this the firepower of San Miguel coming from Ronaldo Bachman and Justin Brownlee.
Charles, there he is right there. They exited him from the game earlier on. He had 2 fouls. He didn't want to pick up another one. They were hoping that they could stay close, and they did exactly that. So Charles in the game with 2 fouls, only has 4 points. So look for just what Marco was saying, getting the ball downstairs to Chris Charles and open up some different options for the Slingers. With the ball right now, Bobby Ray Charles, and the kickback is good. Rolling that one in, so the first lead in a long time for San Miguel, La Pilipinas, all the courtesy of number 10, Paul Rico Meyerhofer.
And those 2 players, Lawrence Domingo and Meyerhofer, are really going to play big roles here for Coach Jimmy Alapag if they want to get a win.
Larry Liu looking downstairs, getting the ball to Charles. Slow and go, he loses it. And it's a race. Urs Ventano will take the ball to the basket, and he is fouled.
And every time San Miguel Alab Pilipinas has been able to get a turnover, they're going to try to push the ball and really get points in transition.
So there's Delvin Go, really had no choice. So Delvin now with 3 fouls, and that's what you don't want. So you save Chris Charles from getting his 3rd foul, and immediately in the 3rd quarter, Delvin Go picks it up.
That is correct, and we know how important Delvin Go is. 6 points in that first half alone.
So Coach Jimmy Alapag looking on, and there he is. Josh Ventano, what a part of the season anyway he had with the Singapore Slingers, instrumental in their drive to the finals last year. Coach Neo, that pensive look on his face once again, as things have not started the 3rd quarter the way Singapore would have with little 4-0 or 3-0 mini run for San Miguel. Make it 4. So a 3-point game now, much to the delight of the partisan crowd here for San Miguel.
And other things, Chuck, that San Miguel has done is they've not allowed Mandani to become a factor in this ball game so far.
Mandani torched them on that 90-80 win on January the 10th. Charles looking inside, now has to get the ball to Alexander. Alexander will have to create, almost loses the ball downstairs. Finally gets at Alexander, wrapped up in the foul. Let's see, would that be a 3-second violation? I think so. Alexander getting the ball inside to Charles, who fumbled it.
Yep.
So a turnover.
Quick hands there from Bachman, deflected that ball, and a turnover there coming from Chris Charles.
That is number 10 for Singapore. Urs Ventano working on Larry Liu, up top Brownlee. Brownlee now will switch off. Bobby Ray Parks inside, the ball knocked away, picked up by Parks alertly. He'll back it up again. 8:30 to go, good pass inside. Now to the other side, nice job on the interior. Meyerhofer, the recipient of that pass by Bachman.
And that one, another assist coming from Ronaldo Bachman. You love the patience there coming from the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
Watch it again, and the rotation. Everybody was focused. Oh boy, everybody was focused on that guy right there, Bachman. So, and short tempers by both these teams now. Alexander, and he's being wrapped up by Meyerhofer.
Veteran play there from Xavier Alexander, drawing the foul from Meyerhofer. So that's going to be his 3rd personal.
Well, I like the way the referees are right on top of this, refusing to let the game get out of hand, because it looked for a moment there that tempers could flare. Both these teams' natural rivals, as you know. Volkov played a good game defensively in the first half. Alexander draws the crowd immediately, getting the ball back to Volkov. 3 on the shot clock. Volkov rises and fires. Off balance. 2 is no good. 1 and out. Mahafer comes back to the ball. Urspintando. Now inside it goes. A kick back outside. Josh will have it again. So he will back it up. Nice job under pressure there by San Miguel. Boston goes to the left hand. Focuses into the basket. Off the glass. Up and in.
Ronaldo Bachman very deceiving. Also has that quick first step. Taking it strong against Xavier Alexander.
So now it is San Miguel Alab Pilipinas' turn to start to dominate inside as they get the ball into the hands of Bachman. He wastes no time going to the left hand, turning his defender inside out off the glass. An easy 2. Watch it again. There's Alexander. He can't stay with him. Weak side held Russell Lowe. Too late. By that time, Bachman is already off and running downhill. Watch it again.
And you see how on the weak side, Chris Charles was preoccupied with Justin Brownlee. Bachman recognizing there was no shot blocker inside the paint, takes it strong right to Alexander.
So we've seen this trend, Mark, over the last probably 6 to 7 minutes of second quarter, leading even the third quarter. They're going, hey, we've got something here with Brownlee and Bachman. Why don't we just keep going to them time and time again? And it's working like a charm.
But especially at the second quarter, once Chris Charles stepped out, they've used that big-to-big screen to force the mismatch to go on either Bachman or Brownlee. And the locals of Singapore having a very difficult time defending either one of them.
Especially off the dribble. You see that with Russell Lowe that time. The time before that, Delvin Go just not able to keep up with pace. So Chris Charles, good idea to try to get him involved in the offense. But what we forgot to say is on the defensive end, Alab Pilipinas starting to slice up Singapore in the interior time and time again, at least the first 3 possessions of the second half.
Now, what we've not seen here, Chuck, in the third quarter is what Singapore did in the first quarter, where they would park somebody inside the paint, whether it was Delvin Go or Russell Lowe.
So Lowe with it outside, barking signals. Chris Charles way up top. Mondani gets the return pass inside the lane. He's cut off. Trying to find somebody to get it to. It is Russell Lowe. Charles forced him to take it. A jump shot and comes through. Wow.
That's a big shot there for Chris Charles. Sterling Garbage hit the goal on that possession.
So a 5-point lead, and dodging the bullet are the Slingers right there. A lot of Philippines have covered everything except that possibility. Russell Lowe with Montalvo. Long shot from outside is good. That is Bobby Ray Parks. Now he's starting to get involved in the offense. Remember, he had 31 in that big win the other night against Kung Fu.
And he recognized that he had a smaller defender, just elevates off of that.
Alexander bounce pass inside, ball knocked away, active hands again by Alab Pilipinas, knocked out at the other side. Larry Liu alertly picking that off.
So a turnover there. They had the numbers on the break.
Inside, bounce pass Alexander, and he is pushed. That'll go on Bobby Ray Parks, sealing off the baseline. Catches him with the hip as Alexander makes the move. Watch this again. Mondani, nice job getting him the ball. And Alexander alertly knifing his way in between 2 defenders right there, knowing he's going to get contact with one of them. It was Parks that drew first blood.
And let's see if that's something Mondani can do more often here. They've gotten his number, covering him from those, taking those open shots from outside. Let's see if he can try to create more for his teammates, in particular Xavier Alexander going to the basket.
So momentum following like it did at the end of the second quarter in favor of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Alexander hits the second of 2. So 47-41. San Miguel with the wind at their back right now. Bachman going straight to the hole.
Bachman going downhill, so he had the mismatch against Chris Charles all the way outside the 3-point line. Really taking it hard to the basket.
And never a good idea when you see your defenders backpedaling. Charles is fouled. And Bachman will pick up his second and starts to have some words with the referee, but Brownlee intercedes. Watch this again. See if we can, just reaching in. I guess he got it with the forehand. That's better angle right here. Let's watch Charles making the move.
That's a good move, facing the basket there for Chris Charles. Good quick slide to the baseline, forcing the foul on Ronaldo Bachman.
And missing the first of 2 in Singapore, as we said, number 7 in the league in free throws, only 63% and change from the line. Going down steadily here, hitting the Second of two, so 49-42.
One thing Singapore has not been able to do is they've not been able to capitalize on Alab's turnovers, just 6 points off turnovers.
Bobby Parks in and out. Rebound corralled by Charles. So did everything right except the execution at the end of the play. Charles thought he was going to take a shot there. Ball rotates over to Mondani on that left-hand side. Russell Lowe downstairs. Charles wide open. Yeah.
That's back-to-back top of the key jumpers. That's going to make Ronaldo Bachman come out.
Double team trying to step through the screen. Picked up by Alexander. Out that back. Mondani to Little New off the back. Glass up and in.
Another good play there from that time. That was the first steal I believe they got off that press, resulting in 2 points on the break.
So it's surprise. Well, we're not going to see that. We're going to see the finish. Nice job by Mondani getting the ball to the open man. There it is on the outlet. And textbook stuff in the open court by Singapore. So they have got the lead, or got the deficit down to 3 points off that turnover. And Marco San Miguel had done so well up to that point of guarding the ball, taking very, very good care of the ball. And I think it looked like Josh Montano just got surprised there.
Got surprised, did not expect a quick double team coming from Xavier Alexander. That 1-2-2 full court pressure had worked for them in their last matchup, talking about Singapore, but Alab so far doing a good job taking care of the basketball. Just 8 turnovers, and as you mentioned, that was only the 8th point off a turnover for the Slingers.
Uncharacteristically, Singapore with 11 turnovers so far, and that is supposed to be their forte. They are known as a team that takes care of the ball, and a lot of Filipinos have successfully been able to get Singapore to cough it up, especially in the interior. Chris Charles has been guilty of that on 2 or 3 different occasions, but that time Singapore using their vaunted half-court press to force up the turnover for Alab Filipinas, who still have the lead 49-46. It's been a game of 2 halves, really. Singapore controlling the first quarter and a half, and it's been pretty much all San Miguel since then, and now is a tie getting ready to turn again. We expect these teams, both these teams are counter-punching teams.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, you can't expect one team to go away and hide. That has not been their history this year, so we'll see if that continues.
And I don't think any team has, either team has blown out the other team by a convincing margin. It's always pretty much been decided in the last couple of minutes or so.
Chris Charles picking up his 3rd foul, holding up inside, holding up Domingo inside. We talked about the athleticism of Domingo. That's on full display right there in the trees. Domingo matching it up with him, and Charles being forced to foul.
And that might be a big development here, Chuck. Big decision here for Coach Leo Bengshine. Do you pull out Chris Charles with 5:17 left in the 3rd quarter while you're still trailing by 3 points?
Delve and go. We thought he had 3 fouls. He does not. Now let's see if number 34 Bachman goes straight at Chris Charles. Perhaps get him to pick up his 4th foul underneath Domingo. From outside, that's number 32. Brownlee filling it up.
That one inside out play once again. That time the assist going to Lawrence Domingo.
So back to a 6-point lead. Alexander off the dribble, looking inside to Charles. He hits him. Bachman in front of him, post-up move, little turn and fire, way off the mark there by Charles.
That's good defense from Bachman, forcing that hook shot.
And Tondo off the dribble. You can see the defenders going ahead of him. Just leans in and cans it like we've seen him do so many times before.
Once Tondo sees that open, he will not hesitate. Back-to-back threes now for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
So 9-point lead. Charles looking for somebody to make a positive cut towards the basket. Up pops Mondani. Alexander rotates the ball to Liu. Russell Lowe will come over and deliver the screen. Back outside he comes. The pick and roll. And a foul that will go on Bachman, I believe. Or will they give it to Domingo, who was slicing by?
Looks like it's going to go on Lawrence Domingo.
So,
nice up fake there coming from Russell Lowe. Credit have that to Larry Yu for that great pass.
So Domingo now with 3. Nice job by Russell Lowe. Double pump fake down low, just waiting for the contact. And this is something Singapore hasn't taken advantage of. They've had their opportunities at the line tonight, but not converted with any sort of consistency at all. And that continues. They're about 50% the last 4 times at the line.
That's correct. They're 9 out of 14 right now. Good for about 69%. So those have been big.
Concern looks by Delve and Go and Ung Han Bin on the bench. That has been all San Miguel, missing them both and stepping in the lane and picking it off with Domingo. So turns out to be a good decision. Domingo off the dribble, will back it up, get the ball in the hands of Ursventano. He's got number 34, Bachman, right there. Now back in the hands of Park. Left hand, take the ball through the rack. Nice job rotating on the defensive end. Larry Liu. Charles, bounce pass inside Alexander. They'll let him have that.
Easy 2 points there for Alexander. Nice assist coming from Chris Charles.
And down the other end, covered in one. Bobby Ray Parks.
What a quick answer there. Less than 5 seconds down the floor. Bobby Ray Parks answers right back.
So Singapore not getting back on the defensive end. Watch that on the outlet pass. And all alone, well, it's decision-making time. If you're number 32 there, Russell Lowe, deciding I'm going to go ahead and foul him. I think his angle is too severe to make the shot. Parks pulls them all, puts it in. An opportunity for a 3-point play. And it's been all San Miguel here in the third quarter.
And the mortal sin there, Chuck, was coming off a made basket on their end of the floor. So the safety guys, the guards of Singapore, not getting back to stop that fast break.
You cannot take your foot off the gas at all. And another example of that right there. It's the biggest bulge of the game for San Miguel. They lead by 10, 58-48. Singapore has only scored 10 points, Marco, in this entire quarter so far. So shutdown defense by San Miguel. Mondani trying to make something happen. Gives it off to Charles. With a long three off the mark. Charles steps in. Up and in for Chris Charles over the back of Ursventano.
And that is only the 4th second chance point of Singapore. So San Miguel Alab has done a good job denying those second chance opportunities.
Bachman now, as he switches off to Brownlee to run the point with Ursventano. They push off downstairs. I think that's going to go on Ung Han Bin trying to hold off.
And both Ung Han Bin and AJ Mondani have been so far quiet here in this ball game. Ung Han Bin still scoreless in about 7 minutes of play.
No, that's huge because you've got to have some contribution from your guard play. And right now, Singapore is sitting on the side. Bobby Ray Parks there, breezes behind him, takes the ball all the way to the basket. My goodness, that is a matchup that is not working at all. And the foul will go on Alexander and one.
And that is one of the disadvantages when you go for a 3 big.
Well, Ung Han Bin there is just, there's just no way. We've seen this time and time again. I don't know why they continue to have him on Bobby Ray Parks. It's a total mismatch, and trying to cover it up downstairs, you can do just so much. So second 3-point opportunity for Parks, and he converts that one as well.
I think Coach Liu Bengshan has Ung Han Bin there to try to give them some outside shooting, but defensively really having a tough time against Bobby Ray Parks.
Fires up a 3. Can't hit it. 1 and out. Domingo with the rebound, almost losing it. Outlet pass. There's Gatano all alone for that right side.
Nobody picking up Josh Urbistondo in that transition play. Lead is up to 14, Chuck.
So watch it again in the open court. We said before, Josh Ursventando's been doing it for a lot of years. You don't get a hand in his face, and more often than not, this will be the result. Total chaos on the offensive end or defensive end for Singapore.
You saw Mondani running to the paint, did not recognize that the shooter was way outside the 3-point line, and when it's Josh Urbistondo, you're going to have to pay.
He's having a fine season, capping that off with a little trash talk of his own, and why not? Alab Pilipinas, who trail by as many as 10, so you're looking at a 24-point turnaround for Alab Pilipinas. And Singapore, who had 38 points at the end of the half, are mired at 50 right now. So 37, 47, 57, 27 points to 10, or to 12, check that.
And at the half, Chuck, it was 9-9 in terms of fast break points. Right now, Alab Pilipinas has 21 fast break points against the 12 of the Singapore Slingers.
Which is all the more shocking because Singapore, the second best team in the league defensively, and they are known as a very tough team to score against in the open court. Not so today. San Miguel has rotated players on the fast break. Whenever chance they get, they are running with the ball. Sometimes it's Brownlee. We've even seen Ronaldo Bachman lead the fast break. So it's not just a one guy or two guys. We thought in the first half, well, okay, shut down Brownlee and Bachman, but up stops Ursventano, up stops up steps Bobby Ray Parks. Up steps Lawrence Domingo. So they're coming at you in waves, so to speak.
And he talked about the roles that Lawrence Domingo and Rico Meyerhofer have played here for Coach Jimmy Alab. They've been the sparks off the bench.
So Alexander from Singapore in position, they got to get some scores and some stops right here, right now. Under 2:30. Alexander blocked by Domingo to follow. Chris Charles right there. He can't get any foul. So 3 kicks at the can. The foul will go on number 32, Justin Brownlee.
And how about that help defense there from Lawrence Domingo coming from the weak side for the rejection.
Well, we talk about the athleticism of Domingo, and you look at his scoreline and say, well, nothing much about that. He only averages about 4 points, 5 points a game. But getting it done on the inside, he's the sort of guy with his leaping ability. He can give you help down low as well. And Charles misses the first of 2, and things going south in a hurry for the Slingers.
Domingo has 2 points in the game, but he has 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and had that 1 block against that would-be dunk by Xavier Alexander.
So 1 of 2. Finally, Singapore get a point on the board. 2:17 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And Chris Charles forced to pick up Ronaldo Balkman outside that 3-point area.
Balkman off to Erzman Tondo. He'll rotate downstairs. Running the baseline is Domingo. Ball slithers out of bounds off the hands of Mondani. Erzman Tondo from the far side will check it in. And doing a number that time on Chris Charles, but getting away with it are the Slingers. Mondani gets the ball off to Alexander. Alexander push pass, foul from behind, and that will go on Bachman, I believe. If it is, that will be 3 on him. No, it'll be on number 2, Erzman Tondo. There's a rotation on the pass knocked away.
Oh, well, I think they credited it to Ronaldo Bachman.
Yeah, I think so.
There on that swipe.
Right.
So that's going to be his 3rd personal.
So perhaps a little bit of concern, but when you've got a 13-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go, you'll take it.
And Coach Jimmy Alab is going to send in King Sumarino, or Chris Sumarino, in favor of Ronaldo Bachman to preserve him. Or sorry, they sent in Alabanza in favor of Bachman, so to preserve him from getting that 4th personal here in the 3rd quarter.
Alabanza picked up 3 fouls in the first half. So more of a role player. Alexander 1 of 2, and again Singapore misfiring from the line once again.
They've had the opportunities at the line, Chuck.
Bobby Ray Parks working against Volkov, who's just checked into the game. Volkov around the screen and falling down as Parks, who still managed to get the ball to Brownlee. Brownlee kicked back outside. Mondani gets a hand. Erzman Tondo around the right side. Shot for 3, in and out again. Alexander with the ball. Looking to get it going for the Slingers. Pass knocked away. Brownlee, outlet pass. It's a race to the ball. Mondani gets there first. And back on the Slingers. Still Mondani, left hand. Kick downstairs to Alexander. Fires up a 3. Can't get it to fall. Chris Charles with Domingo on his back. So Charles will get the foul. Check that. Domingo will get the foul. And that'll be 3 on him. Wait a minute.
No, they're giving it on Chris Charles.
Wow.
So that's going to be his 4th personal foul here in the 3rd quarter. That's going to be a big call.
See if we can catch it downstairs. There's Alexander in 2 minds of what to do with the ball. And yeah, Chris Charles holding on Domingo downstairs. You could see it. Really no need for that. So silly foul for Chris Charles. Now he's got 4 in Singapore.
And you know, just the effort of Domingo to try to box out for that rebound, forcing that foul on Chris Charles.
Well, that's what we were talking about. I mean, the athleticism of the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. They got guys that really you wouldn't expect. Guys like Domingo, who's only 6'4", but plays more like 6'7", 6'8". And more evidence of that right there as he single-handedly causes Singapore to dig themselves deeper in the hole that they're already in.
So now here the Singapore Slingers, who do you go to? You're probably going to have to go and set up Xavier Alexander going to the basket.
Well, you've got Russell Lowe and Del Vigo. Now look at that. Getting his own rebound right in front of Mondani.
Slingers just ball watching on that play, allowing the free throw shooter to get his own rebound.
Yeah, that's a classic no-no. You never let that happen. Volkov around the screen. They've got to get offense from somebody. Kick back outside to Alexander, who's going to have to try and make something on his own and loses the ball. Volkov on the floor tries to get in. I think it's out of bounds on Singapore. So it'll be San Miguel ball. And they've got a 13-point lead and all the momentum in the world at the moment. With 36-6 to go in the third quarter.
Exactly as I was going to say. They have the sense of urgency here, talking about San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. You see number 24, that's Sumalino, getting the deflection and then diving for the ball against Volkov.
Well, if you think that Alexander is the only really threat you've got, you can spend a lot of resources on him because nobody else in Singapore is stepping up at the moment. Brownlee around the screen, momentarily lost it. There he is again. Domingo can't quite finish it. So Singapore dodging the ball, but he was poised on the baseline. Volkov backs it up. Rotation over to Alexander. Alexander inside. Turning and firing to Russell Lowe. He's short with it. Ball punched back outside to Russell Lowe. Inside. Back for two.
Good patience there on the part of Russell Lowe. I thought he went too early, but able to get his own rebound and then the putback.
So timeout going to be called by Coach Alab. He's going to talk it over. And I guess the main thing he's going to have to say, guys, let's not get out of our comfort zone. Look what we have done to get in the position that we're in right now. Let's not change it up, and let's, first of all, not take our foot off the gas as we've got this team, Singapore, looking on the defensive end to be really out of sorts, Marco. We haven't seen that with them in a long, long time.
That is correct. They've outscored Singapore Slingers 29-16, if I'm not mistaken, in that third quarter. So explosive third quarter from San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, Chuck.
Okay, 66-54. We return for the last 10 minutes here at the OTBC Arena.
Yeah, this way, this way. All right, give it up for DJ. Looks good, We're almost there. Now from the three-point line. Three-point line. 3 balls of Penguin, okay? A Magellan and a Huckle. Oh. So guys, get from the free throw line. 2 balls of Penguin. Reserve 1, reserve red. $91. Congratulations, DJ. Thank you. This is free down. Penguin.
Low, set that screen. Opening's coming up. Hey, so again, look. I'll have Ray here. End up with opening here. Low's gonna be down here. JR again. Anywhere here. You're open, JR. Shoot. And I got just here. Hey, take a look. Off this pass. Go and cut through. Cut through. Opening all the way around. JR, you take the middle. Ray, get up here. Get up here. So now I got Ray. I got JR here. Opening all the way around to the first release. Just you go. You got shooter. JR here. You got the skip. Ray. Lowe's gonna be down here. Lowe's gonna be down here.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We get ready to rotate into the fourth quarter. It's been all Alab Filipinos since the halftime whistle, as they lead 66-54. Looking at the stats, remember we said that at the end of the half, the Philippines team should feel lucky that they were only down by 1 or 2 points. They were shooting 38.5 from the floor. Well, they've upped that up considerably now, shooting nearly 45%, 44.8. Looking at the turnovers, Singapore turning the ball over 14 times, Marco, and that says something right there.
That's correct, especially for a team that does not normally make that many mistakes. That's 14 turnovers, resulting in 10 turnover points. And San Miguel Alab Pilipinas really locking down, just forcing or allowing Singapore to shoot 3 out of 10 from long distance.
Josh Erzbintano, the focal point, along with Brownlee and number 34, Ronaldo Balkman, in that momentous third quarter for them. Mondani fires up a long. He's way off the mark that time. Almost fouls Brownlee. Brownlee kicked back outside to nobody in particular. Bobby Parks there to corral it. So under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Marco Benitez, Chuck Schreiner with you, hoping you're enjoying it. Parks a little bit out of control there. Back-up jumper, though. Can't get it to fall underneath. Domingo hustling and getting the rebound. Or was that Parks? Long three is off the mark. Stepping in the lane and picking it off was Alexander. So a little bit of a disjointed possession there by Alab Filipinas. Alexander rotates the ball to Mondani. He'll throw the screen, will Russell Lowe, and they'll back it up again. It's almost like a 2-3 zone, and Mondani swirls out and in from Dewsville. So a 10-point lead.
Good job by Mondani recognizing the mismatch, attacking the slow-footed Alabanza.
Brownlee. Up pops Domingo to throw the screen now. Mismatch with Delvin Go. Let's see if Brownlee takes advantage of that. Go to his left hand. No, he goes the opposite way. Kick back outside. Oh, wide open. Look for number 6 on the three-pointer. Is off the mark. That was Albanazo.
That's a good stop there for the Slingers, forcing Alabanza to take that long shot really outside his range.
Delvin Go almost copying it up that time. Back up jumper there by Alexander.
And again, Justin Brownlee just giving Xavier Alexander that 15-footer. Late challenge for him. Lead is down to 10, down to 8 rather.
Alabanza still in the game. Up pops Domingo, looking downstairs now. Now he gives it to Brownlee and throws the screen around Alexander. And again, Delvin Go on Brownlee. He's got to like that matchup. Domingo rotates it in, kick back outside. Bobby Ray Parks from 3, yes!
And that's big because Mitchell Folkoff was really hanging back on Bobby Ray Parks. Nice assist coming from Lawrence Domingo.
So a little bit of momentum squelcher right there. Alab Pilipinas back up by 11. Alexander. And again, not much movement on offense by Singapore. Alexander in the lane gets the foul. And would have counted had it gone, but a lot of freelancing going on by the Singapore Slingers. The options off their offense just aren't working for them.
That's correct, Chuck. And not a lot of movement, as you mentioned. They're just watching and seeing what Alexander tries to do on the perimeter, trying to give him a couple of screens, but not really a lot of motion there to try to set up their shooters or to try to get somebody in the post.
So Singapore shot poorly from the free throw line tonight, but they do have another quarter to get it back, and checking back into the game is Bachman, number 34. Remember, he's got 3 points, so he gets the go-ahead to re-enter. Chris Charles still on the bench for Singapore with 4 fouls. And to be honest, hasn't been that much of a factor tonight for the Slingers.
There's that full court pressure once again.
Kick back outside as they'll try to spread it out. Running the baseline is Domingo. Parks gets it over in the hands of Brownlee. Delvin Go trying to stay with him. Wide open look, Bobby Parks for 3 again. Yeah. Well,
and they left the shooter that just made that corner triple wide open from the wing.
I mean, Bobby Ray Parks, that's a new dimension for Alab Pilipinas. He hadn't been doing that the first couple quarters, and he comes alive. And ball knocked away. Mondani loses it. Back comes Bobby Ray Parks and company. 12-point lead. Double team. Domingo inside. Oh, missing the slam. And off the mark it goes. And Brownlee, well,
just a little too eager on the slam.
Trying to make the exclamation point, and you know, you could be forgiven in a blowout, but this game still is anybody's game, and you know, you got to make sure. I mean, he did all the heavy lifting. He gets behind the defense and nothing to do except lay it in or jam it tomahawk style, but trying to go the silly route, so they say, and gets penalized for it. So 72-60. Singapore dodges yet another bullet. Larry Liu inside to Delvin Go. Nobody to pass it to. Liu now will have to create the floater in the lane. It's going to be off the mark, but tipped back in by Alexander.
Only the 6-second chance point there. I thought that play developed a bit late for the Singapore Slingers. Luckily, Xavier Alexander with the putback.
So Charles comes back into the game. It's all or nothing for him. 6-minute mark. Mondani working on Parks. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding on A.J. Mondani.
Yeah, it's going to go on Mondani and Parks. Actually, that was now watch this again. That was one of the situations. Now watch, what did, I mean, I didn't see anything grievous that Mondani did, but Parks sure got the attention of the referee. It worked out in his favor, so why not? There it is again.
Just clipping Mondani there. That's what you call a veteran play there from Bobby Ray Parks.
Absolutely. So back from Alab Pilipinas. Bachman, and we're sorry for the cover-up of your screen right there. 1 and out and a foul, and that will go on Brownlee.
That's going to be his 3rd personal. Bachman with the right idea, trying to attack Chris Charles, but Chris Charles was up to the task. Great defense.
So Brownlee's got 3. Bachman's got 3. Merhofer has 4 on the other side of the ball. Charles with 4, and that's the only player in foul trouble, and cooling his heels a little bit after a sensational third quarter, Erzman Tondo. So back comes Alexander. 10-point game. Charles with the ball way out top. Dishes over to Alexander. The screen on Brownlee. Following the screen. Opposite side. Russell Lowe. Post up move. Loses the ball in the lane and a foul. And let's see who that goes on. Oh boy, that's going to go on number 34, Bachman, I believe. And if so, that will be 4 on him. Let's look at it again inside. You can see some holding on in a minute. Dashing over to get the ball. Delvin go on the floor. Let's see. I'm trying to find out where the foul is.
I think they're giving it a Meyerhofer. Grabbing onto the leg of Delvin Go.
Okay, I thought for a moment there it might be on Bachman. So exiting the game will be Meyerhofer. That is his 5th.
And that's going to send Domingo back in the game. Has played heads-up basketball for Alab Pilipinas.
Domingo with only 2 fouls, and you don't lose a whole lot by inserting him in the game, I'll tell you that. Charles playing post-up, turns and fires. He's going to be short, follows his own shot, but Brownlee ahead of him. Still Brownlee, right, left, it goes back in the corner. Bobby Ray Parks, he's got the hot hand, but discretion the better part of valor for him.
That's good recovery there from Alexander.
So Bachman, bounce pass. He's got a mismatch against Volkov. Brownlee bumping and grinding. See if somebody's free underneath. Picked off by Larry Liu in the lane. Back comes Singapore. Left hand to Liu. Kick back outside. Now to Delvin Go. Another kick. Well, he didn't want the shot. Larry Liu from Freesville off the mark. Chris Charles steps in the lane. He's fouled from behind.
And again, that's the value of Chris Charles, just buying you second chance opportunities. Mitchell Volkov not even attempting to take a look at that shot, passing it off to Larry Liu.
Foul on Samalanov. There's the wide open look by Liu. Couldn't knock it down, and Singapore is going to have to start taking advantage of these opportunities. Their offense has slowed to a crawl since the second half has begun. Remember, they had 38 points at the end of the half. They've only got 62 now, so a timeout. So only 24 points Singapore has scored, Marcos, since the end of the first half.
Well, one of the guys that hasn't really been big in terms of scoring here for the Slingers is Chris Charles, only with 12 points so far. On the average, I think he averages about 20 points per game for them. 21.3 to be exact.
So talking over, yeah, they're going to have to get the offense from somewhere. I think you hit it right on the head too many times. Singapore gets the ball down, and then after a couple passes, get the ball in the hands of Alexander. Then it's up to the X-Man to create while everybody else watches, and that's just not going to get it done against the quality teams in the ADL. And of course, San Miguel being one of them.
Yeah, that's correct, Chuck, and especially when Anghan Bin and AJ Mandani have not connected from the outside, that just gives the defense of Alab Pilipinas all the more reason to really just pack it in against Xavier Alexander or Chris Charles.
Yeah, Ung is yet to score tonight. Mondani only was 6, and he's been averaging over 12, I think 12.8 per game, something like that. So that's all all the contributions you're going to get from your guard play. Then you're looking downstairs, and it's a no-brainer for a lot of Filipinos. Okay, you stop Alexander and just cover up the 2 big men. The game's yours.
That's correct. Alexander, to his credit, has 27 points already to go along with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. So it's been a big hole, especially on terms of support from the bench for the Singapore Slingers.
On a good night, Alexander will have 7 to 10 assists. We know that. He's one of the leading assist guys in the league, so that just accentuates the problem Singapore is having executing their shot from the perimeter. Charles, oh boy, fires up a 2 at the stroke of midnight.
Bailing them out on that possession was Chris Charles.
So 8-point lead. Bachman now again working on Volkov. See if Volkov can stay with him. Out pops Brownlee. Domingo. Now Don who's checked in the game. Lead pass. Sees it picked off. Tried to force the shot a little bit. Did Bachman, and coming away with it is Larry Liu. Go. Lead pass, and his pass was picked off by Domingo. Great anticipation by him.
Played the passing lanes perfectly. And for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, they cannot afford to stop out and keep their foot off the gas pedal here.
Bachman, left hand he goes to, wide open, Don. And he is, I guess, fouled. No, wait a minute. 3-second violation.
Well, it looks like he stepped on the sideline, if I'm not mistaken.
Or the baseline, one of the two. So referee right there. So 3:45 to go, and Singapore is going to have to get it going on the offensive end. Delvin Go, Volkov. Charles will proceed down to the low post, and he's being held up by Bachman. Alexander, and again, just what we were talking about, Alexander hits the lane, scoop shot, no good, off the hands of Delvin Go, and it will be San Miguel ball.
And you see at one point, Xavier Alexander is taking those attempts. He's probably down to less than 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Not a lot happening on the offensive sequence of Singapore.
And you can see 4 shirts coalescing around him as soon as he makes his drive in the lane. So Bachman again will slow it down. Time on the side of San Miguel. Brownlee, Alexander in his pocket. Charles, Brownlee getting around him. Bounce pass inside. Blocked away by Charles. The foul. Bachman can't hit on the second attempt. Mangani with the ball now. Alexander full of steam. And a foul. That will go on Domingo, and that will be 3 on him. Domingo doing the right thing. Watch it again. Nice job to get the ball to, well, it might be on Brownlee, actually.
I think they gave it on Brownlee, so that's going to be his 4th personal. That's also a big development here for San Miguel.
So let's see if they go straight at Brownlee, or they pull Brownlee out of the interior of the defense. Don't let him follow the action inside, and finally getting the front end of a 2-shot opportunity. So 7-point bulge now for San Miguel.
Xavier Alexander is 8 out of 12. He made that 8 out of 13 from the line.
Yeah. So 7-point game. Parks will take his time. Bachman. To Ontiveros. Ontiveros left hand backs it back up again. Josh back into the game. Brownlee, Alexander, switch. All the way downstairs, too hard, and stepping up. Nice job with the drop step.
And because Chris Charles has 4 personal fouls, cannot challenge too aggressively that reverse from Bachman.
So Bachman makes it a 9-point game. Charles, Alexander from Freesville, no, but he's fouled.
And that's also going to be the 4th personal foul on Ronaldo Bachman. Not a smart foul, fouling the 3-point shooter.
So both Brownlee and Bachman with 4, but the good news for Alab Pilipinas is there's only 2:20 left in the game. So I don't know if you want to pull him out. Remember, these teams have been in positions like this before, close-fought games. Remember how far Alab Pilipinas came back to tie it here on January the 7th and go on to win the game in overtime, going away by 9 is Alexander, and this is the first of 3.
Big free throws right here, Chuck. Potentially cut this down even further.
Plenty of time left for Singapore. Rattles home the second one. So now an 8-point game.
I expect the Slingers to probably put up their 1-2-2 half-court trap here to try to force a turnover.
2 of 3. So back to the 7-point lead. Volkov shadowing Parks. Now Bachman again with the right-hand dribble. Charles out on him. On Taveras. Larry Liu. Ventano knocked away. Charles on the floor. Ventano alone. He picks it back up. Somebody's got to be open. Inside. Nice job there by Ontiveros. Great recognition to get the ball inside to Bachman, who was cutting in.
That's a veteran play for you with about 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Knew how to time that pass perfectly. Hits Bachman, forces the foul on Volkov.
Yeah, Volkov had no choice, really. There was no way he was going to stop him. But I would remember a day when Ontiveros would have taken that shot.
Has not really gotten his rhythm the entire game, talking about Brandon Ontiveros. But you can count on him to make heads-up plays such as those.
That's why he's on the roster, and he understands his role. He's not there necessarily to fill up the basket, but he's there to do things right like that in situations like that. So opportunity now to make it a 9-point game. Bachman has been tremendous here in the second half, especially. He's got 18. So between Brownlee and Bachman, 34 of the 76 points, but it hasn't been just their show. What about the play of Josh Urzbentano? He's got 14. Bobby Ray Parks with 16. It's been a full court effort, full press effort for the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas from the word go. And Marco says about midway through the second quarter, they haven't looked back.
Well, you saw them how they started out flat-footed in the first quarter. Then they got that sense of urgency. I think the crucial point was when Chris Charles went to the bench because of foul trouble. That really ignited something from San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And since then, their intensity level has not slacked off here, especially in the fourth quarter. Highlight of it was in the third quarter, Chuck. But Singapore, still with about 2 minutes to go, has to make a run here. They have to make stops on their end of the floor.
It's also been huge, a lack of guard play for the Singapore Slingers. They've got
correct.
6 points from Mondani, and that has been totally it. So Alexander with 30, Charles with 14, but it's a soft 14.
Yeah.
And everybody else, Del Mago has shown flashes. He's got 6, him and Lowe. They're customary double figures from the 4 position. Playing that double high post, alternating off and on. But besides that, we've got nothing from Ung Han Ben. Absolutely zero. Larry Liu with 7 points, but he hasn't scored in a while. So you can't put the whole load on the shoulder of one man. And Alexander, as good as he is, and he's one of the 4 or 5 best players in the league, no doubt about that. But he can't carry the load by himself. They just have not been able to do anything on the offensive end, and a lot of that's been predicated by the commitment to defense that San Miguel has made. So off the dribble, Liu looking for some separation on the 41-year-old Ontiveros, and Ontiveros cuts him off at the baseline, but a blocking foul.
And I remember talking to Coach Jimmy Alapag at the start of the game. As you see this penetration coming from Larry Liu, just a slight bump there on the part of Ontiveros. Coach Jimmy Alapag was mentioning that if they can stop the guard play, they can allow Alexander to go off for 50 points, and they would be in this game. They've done exactly that. 7 points from Larry Liu, just 6 points from A.J. Mandani.
There's Brownlee also operating with 4 points and under 2 minutes to go. And Larry Liu starts to misses the first of 2. So, I'm not saying if they would shoot 75, 80%, they'd be in control of this game. But my goodness, I mean, it would be a whole lot closer now. Then you put some of the pressure at least on the San Miguel. I mean, they could be within 4 or 5, and they missed a second. And then Brownlee gets the rebound.
Right now, Slingers are 16 out of 27 from the line.
Oh, my goodness. Bachman with the throw downstairs to Ontiveros, who blows the layup.
Another chance here for the Slingers.
Bachman misses the 3, hits nothing. That's his second air ball. Frantic action by Singapore, full court press. Under 1:30 to go. Bobby Ray Parks gets it back outside. Patient attack by Alab Pilipinas. 9 left on the shot clock. Look for him to take it down to about 5. Bachman. Opposite side. Bobby Ray Parks with the dagger. No.
And second chance opportunities. That's been the story of the game so far for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
And just playing with them right now. Brownlee. Urzbentano, Bachman for 2! And that ought to do it.
That could be the dagger right there.
12-point lead now. Singapore fires up a 3 off the mark. Bachman, Bobby Ray Parks coming away with it. And San Miguel Alab Pilipinas have come into the Lions' Den, and they will leave here with their 5th win in a row.
This is going to be a big win here for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas against a team that has given them a lot of difficulty here this season.
And exclamation point, the block at the other end, and the inevitable trash talk by Bobby Ray Parks with Larry Liu on the floor.
Bobby Ray Parks. Another stellar game here for Bobby Ray Parks. 16 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists on that monster block.
Bachman, let's see if he tries to accentuate it. No, the Urzbentano. And rubbing a little bit of salt in the wound, but why not? Alab Pilipinas will come away the winner here, 82-69, meaningless 2 points at the end, and hugging it out is Josh Urzbentano. You won't find a better gentleman in the ABL than him, and giving the X-Man some love, but no love on the board. 82-69, Alab getting it done, Marco, and they sowed the seeds in the second quarter, and they just kept their foot on the gas the whole way.
And you talk about as well, Chuck, Alab Pilipinas doing it on both ends of the floor, shooting from the outside. They connected on the three-point shots. 10 out of 23 from long distance. They also dominated inside the paint, 36-26 in terms of points in the paint. And you talk about the second chance opportunities. Guys like Domingo, Rico Meyerhofer really came out as the X factors here for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
On the other side of the ball, Singapore had that sliver lead, 38-37 at the end of the half. They just never got off. So 38-40, they only scored 31 points in the entirety of the second half. And Alab just finding an answer and really going to the dish whenever they wanted to behind Bachman and Brownlee. And then, just as we said, coming at you in ways. Bobby Ray Parks doing from outside. Don't forget the accomplishments or the contributions of Domingo on the inside as well. So play of the game. Josh Tonto, 17 points, and it's only fitting that the guy comes back to the arena and gets it done. There's the lead pass. Tonto stepping behind the three, the little leaning three-pointer, and he would hit 2 or 3 more. Yeah, the extenuation at the end. So San Miguel getting it done on both ends of the floor, much to the consternation of Singapore. Slingers will drop to 7-7. San Miguel will up it to 8-4 and solidify themselves as one of the top 2, 3, 4 teams in the league. And my goodness, as we look at the stats here, Marco, and another look at Josh Tonto there, but I think what we're going to see off these stats is just a total domination on all aspects of the game by the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, both offensively and defensively. So let's check it out. Confirmation 82-69, rebounds 30-28, but 14 offensive rebounds in favor of San Miguel. The assists, I don't really care much about that. Look at the turnovers, 18 for Singapore. That's unheard of. Field goals 25-57, 31-74. But getting it done on the inside, going downhill straight from Singapore in the interior defense. And that didn't work. They pop it back out to Bobby Ray Parks or Josh Tonto. So total job of clicking it on offense for San Miguel, but let's not forget their defense as well. So let's take a look at the standings after today's game. Still on top, Hong Kong Eastern 9-1. Kung Fu, who were also a victim to San Miguel earlier, 7-2. Model Vampire 9-4, but look who's coming right up on your heels, Alab Pilipinas. Singapore holding down the 5th spot at 7-7. Saigon Heat, Westport Malaysian Dragons, and the Knights and the Dreamers at the back of the pack. So the next games we'll have coming up for you here on Star Hub. It'll be Kung Fu, Chongcheng Kung Fu. They are in second place going against the Saigon Heat. A lot was expected of them. We'll check it out. That will be on the 7th of February from Nanhai Gymnasium. For the Slingers, their next match will be coming up here next Sunday. Singapore Slingers going up against the team they haven't seen, the bottom feeders, the Formosa Dreamers. Singapore Slingers, 11th of February, 4 o'clock tip-off for that here at the Oso BC Arena. So for everybody here at Star Hub and for my buddy here, Marco, this is Chuck Schreiner. We'll see you next time. Final score 82-69 in favor of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. So long from the OCBC Arena. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye for now.